Why y'all keep muting me? Why y'all trying to steal my thunder? What the hell going on around here? Y'all keep muting me up in this mug. What's going on? What's up, everybody? It's Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your money, baby. I am so excited to be back with my queens, and I ain't seen my sis, Dr. LaNee. What's happening? I ain't seen you in a minute. What's going on, girl? I can't hear you. See, they just muting everybody.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
My friend, I'm so happy to be here with you today. I miss you.
I know, I missed you. Good to see you. So listen, y'all, today we're going to talk about Shannon Sharpe. He says that he regrets putting his work over his relationship. He said, I'd rather have less and have somebody. After building wealth and fame and legacy, now he's questioning if the grind costs him the type of connection that money simply can't replace. Today, we're talking about what success really means, the emotional roller coaster of chasing money, and how to build wealth without losing your personal life in the process. So I already introduced you to my sis, Dr. LaNee Javet. What's happening all the way from Phoenix, Arizona. And then we have Sister Dominique. She is a nurse practitioner and a real estate professional doing all the things to help people build wealth. And then we have Nomalanga. She is the marriage, the money, and the marriage, time, and the money. Wait, what's the middle one? Oh my God. What is it?
Motherhood.
Huh? Motherhood. You have to do something to do with kids. Marriage, motherhood, and money. What's up, sis? It's always good to see you.
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. All the way from Botswana, y'all. Listen, this is dedication. My girl be getting up. It's what, 8 o'clock over there?
8 o'clock in the evening.
8 o'clock in the evening, and she does all that just to come on and talk to all of you great people. So thank you, Miss Nomalanga. So listen, you guys. So I don't know. Do you think, I'm gonna ask you this? Do you think it's disingenuous of Shannon Sharpe, and I'm gonna start with you, Dr. LaNee, to say that? Because you could say that now that you've had the money, but would he be saying that if he didn't? So what do you think? Is it disingenuous or not?
It is. It's hindsight. You know, hindsight is 2020. Of course, we can go back and be like, I wish I would have, could have. I'm older. I just got caught on OnlyFans with my hand in the cookie jar. Like, yeah, of course you wish now you had had somebody. And you're getting older. You're breaking down. A lot of these, David Bann or a couple of these men are getting older and now saying, now I want to settle down. I wish I had done something differently. But you know, we are today.
Yeah. What about you, Noma? What do you think is disingenuous? Do you think he'd be saying that if he was broke?
I think if he was broke, you'd probably not be saying that, right? But I don't think the two are mutually exclusive.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how old he is, but the thing that I've been saying probably for the last 20 years is that men and women are not the same. He could literally go get him a 35-year-old woman, and have a family and have love and live for the next 20 years happily ever after. We can't do that. You're 50. Well, I'm saying if you're a woman, if you're 50, you can't go back and sorry, Constance. If it makes you feel better, I'm a quarter to 50 as well. I'm almost there as well. But what I mean is at my age, I can't say, well, I wish I had done this and then do it. He can. I can't go back and find a young person and have children with them. It might not. You see what I'm saying? Unless children is not the family picture. That's my picture. It includes, starting a family, building wealth together and all that. But men can do that. He can literally go out, like I said, get a 35-year-old girl, get married, and start a family, and then they build from there. And then it seems like he never wasted most of his life. Unless he has ED.
No, you're supposed to be my man coach. You're supposed to be helping me get a man, and you just validated my insecurities. Listen, I've been stuck in a house for the last 3 weeks because it's snowing. I go out last Friday just to run some errands, and I'm like, well, damn, ain't nobody making eye contact with me. Is it because I'm almost 50? And then you fuck around and say that shit, Nomalanga.
Constance, you already have 3 beautiful children. Is it 3 or is it 4?
4. What that mean?
4. You already have 4 beautiful children. So all you need now is just a partner and you can do it.
Okay, so it's not too late.
Yeah, it's not too late. I just mean starting all over, having kids and, but, I just
having kids.
What?
unless Constance plans on having some more kids.
Well, Halle Berry did it, and Janet Jackson. So nothing, anything's possible, right?
I have a friend, and he was talking about how he's like in his 50s, and he has kids, and he's like, I just want to have a relationship with somebody where we have kids together. I'm like, Negro, you almost dead. You're 53. Raise them kids that you got. Take care of them grown ass kids. Like that dream has sailed. That ship has sailed. Like y'all really.
But he can do it though. He can do it. That's the thing. Men can do it.
But you're gonna be dead when not dead, almost dead when your child is going to kindergarten. It's like, no. Get that kid a chance to have a daddy that can walk him to school. Dominique, what do you think?
I do kind of think it's disingenuous, because now you have the money, you have the fame, you have the fortune, and now we're having a conversation. And I often hear men talk about this later in life, right? You want to talk about having somebody now, you're sick, what they call the hospice wives.
Yeah.
Think about those things before. So let's not talk about it now. You had the opportunity before you got the fame and the fortune. You could have built with somebody, but oftentimes they don't, and he didn't. And so I do think it's disingenuous. Let's not talk about it now. You got the money.
That part. Before we go to the video, I want to see the video. I'm going to ask you, Dominique, would you rather have the money or the love? Ooh, wait a minute. You married. You're not supposed to be having to think twice about this. I'm going to have a conversation with your husband.
You know what? Because you need money to live. So it's like one of those tricky things. But if I'm a lover girl, so I would want to have love. And love, I feel like you're going to get the money. We can get the money together. Like, that's how I feel. But I would want love. I would want, I enjoy the fact that I have been able to grow up with my spouse. I've enjoyed the fact that I've been able to raise my children, and I've never put money over that. Even being a nurse, I can work all the time. I can work overtime, but nothing replaces, having those experiences and those moments with the people that you love the most. Money cannot replace that at all.
Amen. Good. That's good. What about you, Dr. LaNee?
I had to think about it for a minute. As Dominique was talking, I was like, damn, money is good. Love is good. I feel like with the right partner, right? I think when we talk about relationship and love, we just talk about love. With the right partner,
yes.
Love, because we're going to build money, right? If I have a partner that adds value, that's not taken away from me, that's not stressing me out, that shows up and supports, and we work as a team and we are actually partners, right? Good leadership, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna choose love every day of the week, because I know that together we're gonna get out here in these streets and we're gonna make some money.
Right. He ain't leading you to hell.
Exactly.
That's important. Okay. I know what Noma's answer is, but you can go ahead and say it in your way. You're muted. You're muted.
Love, but
go
I already have a problem with that word love, but I like what LaNee was saying. Because she didn't say love, just love. She said well partnered. I was going to say well matched. I would like to be well matched, and then we build together, because I believe that when you're well matched, love grows in that environment, and then you can build the wealth together, assuming that you're really well matched and you're both healthy, functional individuals. The love, even though I don't like the word, definitely comes first, and it's more important, and it's supposed to help you build more.
It sounds like you are more about partnership. Not partnership, business. It sounds like love is a business for you.
I don't like the word business either, but I don't like this flimsy love where you follow your feelings and get married just based on your feelings. I don't like that at all. It's actually, I think it's actually pretty stupid, because the love fades, and then you're left with a person that you don't even like, and then you ruined your life. No, I think it's important to be well matched. Yeah, and you're broke. Yeah, but when you meet a person, and I'm lucky. I don't like the word luck. So many words I don't like today. But I'm lucky because I got well matched later in life, right? Again. And I think it's such a beautiful thing, because you make good decisions when you're older. But again, my parents got married when my mother was 22 and my father was 24, and they were well matched, and they built a beautiful life together, and they built a lot of wealth. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's just because I'm older, but I do think it's a blessing to be older and be able to make good decisions, be well matched, built together. But no, I think love, just following your feelings and saying you're in love and then making decisions because of the love, I think that's really stupid.
Yeah, that's what you do in your 20s.
Yeah, well,
But
yeah,
at this,
still stupid.
this right age, that's why you don't get married before your prefrontal cortex is developed, people. That's why. Let's take a look at the video.
Everything,
Sure.
and I missed out on a lot of great relationships.
Would you rather be up and without a woman, or would you rather be with the woman and not as up as you are?
You want me to tell you God honest truth?
Yeah.
I'd rather be up, not up as much, and have somebody.
For real?
I do.
Okay, I can understand what he's talking about, because the more I worked and was chasing that bag, the less time I was spending at home. Time you can't get back, money you can replace. So you're gonna have to make a decision. Do you want money or do you want a relationship? Trust me, you're gonna have to make a decision. It's gonna be a hard one, but you're gonna have to make a decision. Either way it goes, you're gonna have a relationship. Either it's gonna be with money or it's gonna be with a person. The choice is yours.
Now, I think that, that's a good point. But is it because he just got caught up? It's like, does that really matter? Does it matter that he just got caught up and he just lost a bunch of money, lost deals behind this little young white girl? Do you think that's a contributing factor, Nomalanga? And if it is, does it even matter?
I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking. But I do think that if it's tough, because they can get married and have a nice, good wife at home and still run off with the OnlyFans girl. So, but if I was gonna say, if he had really had like a good wife and a good family, he may have stayed away from things that have eaten up his wealth. But that's also statistically how men finish their money, is by not marrying and by not having children, and then they die and their wealth just goes to nothing, and then the children that they've left out on the street start over again and repeat that pattern. The way that you preserve wealth from generation to generation is through marriage.
You are 100% right. What about you, Dominique? What you think? Do you think that he just feels this way because he got caught up?
I don't, not necessarily because he got caught up. I'm sure he had multiple opportunities throughout his life to develop this relationship and settle down. You're talking about, he's not a bad looking man. He's been successful, throughout high school and college. Think about all the opportunities he had with great women that he lost, because he was chasing the bag, or he wanted to deal with multiple women, or whatever the case may be. So I think that he had the opportunities. I just think that he fumbled all of them. And now he's thinking about all the times that he could have built a life with somebody that now is gone. And so now he's thinking about all these things, and because he has children too. So what happened to the mother of the children, So he had these opportunities. And I just think that now he's just thinking about life and what this looks like as he gets older.
Yeah.
Is it just one mother?
Huh?
I don't
Is
know.
it just one mother?
Oh,
I'm not
I
sure.
don't know. That's a good question, producer. How many baby mamas does he have? But Dr. LaNee, what do you think?
I don't think he fumbled the bag. I think he wasted it. I think, just like he said, he had opportunities. He said he missed up on some opportunities. He had some good relationships. I'm ad-libbing, but he said something about he lost some good relationships, which means he was probably out here playing with some women's heart. And that might be fumble, but I'm going to go with wasted, right? Because a lot of times when you have money, you feel like your shit don't stink and you got a lot of time. You can do whatever you want to do. And now that he is older and he's looking around, again, hindsight is 2020, and what I coulda, shoulda, woulda did. But also men and women, because it's not a man bashing session, feel like we have to choose between the two. It has to be either or. And I really wish we would get to a place where we felt like we could do both, right? Mm-hmm. That there's something special when you build with someone, when somebody has your back, when you're doing it as two. But men and women, right now feel like they got to build by themselves. When I get the bag, when I get to this level of success, then I'll partner. But by the time you get to that place of success, you got too much money. Now you're nervous and scared about who you can bring on, or you're older, you're not moving as fast. You at the end. How are you going to enjoy the life, the quality of life that you want to have? And so I think he just looked around. Old girl took his money. Lost some business contracts and deal. I think he lost that $100 million deal with ESPN. Now you're sitting around looking at your life and you don't got nobody to talk about it with, nobody to tell it to, nobody to open up and be vulnerable with. And now you're saying, dang, I wish I would have taken the time. I wish I wouldn't have messed over so-and-so. I would, but you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah, man. Sometimes God gotta set us down, and you be in the bed, in them dark, lonely nights. You get to thinking over your life, like, you know what? I really should have. Yeah, that woulda, coulda, shoulda. You know, but what you said, I think is true, because you know, my sons. I got one son get ready to be out in the world, and you know, one will be in college, the other one's in college. But their thinking is, I gotta build, and then, you know, I can get with somebody. I can't, you know, I got to make sure that my stuff is together. And that's what we teach our sons though, right? So there's that delicate balance, but also, you know, me as their mom saying, don't do nothing till your prefrontal cortex is developed. I don't want you to get married too young, because you need to make sure that you know who you are, you know what you want, and you know how to lead as a man before you do. So while you know, both of those things can be true, you definitely want somebody that you can build with, be young enough to build with somebody. At the same time, you got to make sure you got your own stuff and that your mind is developed as well. But to answer the question, who asked the question? I think Nomalanga asked the question. He has two daughters and one son. So looks like he has 3 baby mamas. So he has Kayla and Kaylee with one mother, and he has a son, Kiari, with another mother. So there's 2 baby mamas. So there, he looks like he's had some relationships, and he probably was out there playing. I mean, we can only make the assumption, but I don't know. I think it may be a little bit disingenuous, just because, you know, when you look back and you see I guess the road of dead bodies in the rearview mirror of all the people that you done messed over, and now you sit over there lonely and you done lost out on some things, and it's like, yeah, well, maybe I should have sat my ass down. Maybe I should have, you know. And so, unfortunately, it happens to so many Black men, so many men, period, but so many Black men, because they're too busy playing. And that's also unfortunate. There's another video that I want to take a look at. So let's bring that video up. But I do know, so before we bring the video up, while you get in that video, one of the things is that he was poor. He grew up poor and in a lot of trauma. His grandparents raised him, and he was dirt poor. So that's probably one of the reasons why he worked so hard as well, is because he was so poor. He never want to go back to that. So that could also be in the back of your mind. But yeah,
Shannon Sharpe has had money for a while. He's been on ESPN doing stuff for a while.
Yeah.
How much money is enough? Like, when do you get to enough?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You sit your ass down.
There's a deal before the $1 million deal. He played football first for years. Then after football, ESPN. Then after that, $100 million contract. Then after that, the YouTube. So he's had money all along the way. At any given time, he could have said, you know what, it's time for me to settle down and get a wife, or do whatever the case might be. Listen, I'm sorry for what I'm about to say. I'm sorry for what I'm about to say. I'm sorry for what I'm about to say. Or be like any other man. You'd be like any other man, get a wife and have his side chick. Like, he still could have settled down at any given moment in time.
But what you do see is, when you look at these athletes, the ones who have who really built the wealth and who have the stable money are the ones who have settled down and are married and are responsible.
Regardless of what they're doing, they still have that main one that kind of can bring them back to the center. And I'm not saying that all men cheat. Let me make sure I say that. I'm not saying all men cheat. I'm just saying, if you're in that NFL, NBA, big money life, chances
the opportunities are there. Yeah. Too many opportunities.
Chances are. So at least settle down with your main one. That's all I'm saying. I'm not talking about the average dude who's out here doing the right thing. I'm talking about men with money.
So there's a comment here, Constance, that says,
and without
how delusional women compare what they would do to what men do. And I did and says, stop projecting. I did think about that. If I was a man, I would probably answer this question a little bit differently, but I'm not. But I do think they have different considerations than women. And you do want to show up. You do want to show up.
We're concerned about kids, and women do the same thing with their careers and wait to get their 30s, 40s and realize, oh no, I didn't have any kids. I didn't do this. And then they start thinking,
sometimes that happens. But when you get married and you're a woman and you have almost nothing in terms of money and material wealth, it's not balked upon as much as being a dude and you have nothing to offer the woman you're asking to marry you. In our culture, they literally ask you as a man, like, well, where you gonna take her? Where's she gonna live? Like, what's she gonna eat? Like, what you gonna do, dude? You know? And they don't ask the woman that, because the expectation is that he's supposed to provide. He's supposed to, at the very least, provide the basic things. So I'm just putting that out there, that it may not be the exact same consideration for a man and woman, although we both make the mistakes of sometimes leaving commitment and family until too far into life, where then some things are not possible. Well, and like I said, sorry, no, I was gonna say, I keep saying, like, some of these guys really do get ED like in their 40s and 50s. So like, who wants that?
Listen, let's say 60s and 70s. Okay, Nomalanga, you don't got to say 40s and 50s. Sis.
He's not in his 60s.
I'm starting to get offended here.
Constance, I don't know about Dominique, but I think you and I and LaNee are around the same age, give or take a year or two. So that's why I keep saying that. Maybe it's because
I need you to say 60s or 70s, though. Okay.
Well, how old is Shannon Sharpe, though?
But do you remember Ebony K. Williams a couple of years ago? Remember, like, she was the epitome of that woman that he's talking about. Women do have options. I think we have the same types of options. Women are making money. So I don't know if that's a projection necessarily.
That was just
right. She said she ain't dating no man who drive a bus. Remember that? Y'all remember that conversation?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, remember that? I mean, kind of the same thing. Like, so she's sitting here and probably in her 40s. Did she get pregnant or something? Did she have a in vitro baby or a surrogate baby or something like that? I don't know.
Who?
Anyway. Okay. Next. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at the video. Y'all ain't rocking with me.
And without a woman, or would you rather be with the woman and not as up as you are?
You want me to tell you God honest truth?
Yeah.
I'd rather be not up as much and have somebody.
This is real. I think this is what happens to a lot of Americans. I think we get into a cycle of chasing and chasing and chasing. We never really think about what is satisfaction, you know what I mean? And the thing about the grind is that you have to be obsessed about it. In a sense, you can't really put your all into the grind and then also put your all into a relationship. So I think going in, somebody who's on the come up has to kind of think that way in America, at the point where you have to put your grind over a relationship. But I think Shannon Sharpe, as he's gotten older, as he's kind of been through the ups and downs of living that lifestyle, has come to the realization that maybe this wasn't worth it after all. And I think that's a good thing. I think this is a conversation we should probably bring up more, because we do have to really think about, what do we value more, relationships or being successful or appearing successful? But let me know what you think.
So do you think that's true, Dominique? Do you think that, maybe
a woman, or would you rather be?
Maybe he is, maybe you have to just focus on one thing.
I do think that, when you think about a relationship or a marriage, right, it is a partnership. And what you find is sometimes one partner will work more, and miss out to make sure that the family is taken care of. So I do think that sometimes there are sacrifices, and that's why it's important too, to have a partnership, have a marriage, so that you can build wealth within your family, and somebody is there making sure that the children are taken care of, as opposed to having two separate households where both individuals are chasing the bag, and then the kids are basically raising themselves and figuring it out. And then you have crime and you have all these things that are happening because everybody is chasing the bag. I really believe that, being in partnership and being in one household and having community and village helps us to be able to get to the bag in a sense, because somebody can stay home and make sure that everything on the home front is good, but you also have somebody making sure that we are creating that generational wealth and that everything is taken care of financially and everything is not just going haywire at home.
Somebody said life is not 50-50 ever. And I think that's true. Sometimes, what did Teddy Pendergrass say? Sometimes I give 70, sometimes she gives 30. So it's not always gonna be 50-50. Talking about a 50-50 love. Yeah. What do you think, Dr. LaNee?
I think, yeah, no, it's never going to be 50-50. At least it shouldn't be, right? I know this new age, these new relationships are 50-50. That I think it's, first of all, I think it should be 100-100. Like, I think both parties need to go into it wholeheartedly, right? And then you show up and you balance each other out. They got it, you don't got it, whatever, right? It's a push and pull. Sometimes they got more, sometimes you got more, but you're in it together. So I always feel like it should be 100-100. But also I was looking at that clip and I was like, man, Shannon looks old. You got the gray beard coming in and everything.
I think the gray beard is kind of cute though. I think it looks good.
But just from when you think about the optics on his show, he's always tailored really nice, black on black. He got that Beijing popping. When I'm watching that clip, he was just letting it all hang out. And so again, I'm looking at it from the perspective of a man who has lived his life and is now like, damn, I wish I would have lived it differently. I wish I would have taken the time to been vulnerable, been open, let somebody in, not have worked so hard, not have been so committed to the grind that I always say, when you finish grinding, what are you going to have left? Right. And how long can you grind for? I have this conversation with my dude all the time because he's like, he has these goals and ambitions and wishes and successes. And I'm like, dude, if you think about where you started to where you are successful in this moment right now. Can you be more successful? Yes, you can. But a lot of times I think Black men, they knock their own hustle, right? If we talk about how he started out dirt poor, I'm not going to be that. I'm not going to be that. That laser focus sometimes blocks everything else. And then by the time, because here's the truth, the goal keeps moving.
That's right.
Goal keeps moving. So
the goalpost.
Once you hit the million, okay, I made it. Okay, now I need 5 million. Then you get to 5 million. Okay, I got this deal, but I'm gonna get traded. I'm gonna do 25 million. The goalpost keeps moving, so you never really get.
Never gonna be enough.
Yeah,
we never arrive. We never arrive.
If you're true to what you want, you never arrive. Some people do, and they slow down, they settle down, they cool, and they content. But if you are a real hustler out here, like Oprah gets up every day and still makes money. Like Jeff Bezos gets up every day and still makes money. Some folks, you keep going, but they're living life along the way.
That's the difference. So is that mutually exclusive? Because the guy on the video, Nomalanga, said that, I understand, because if you really, really focus, you just really gotta, you gotta eat, sleep, drink, think, be everything it is to perform at that level. Do you think that's true?
So I looked it up. He's 57. Shannon Sharpe is 57. So no, the guy is not correct. There is a time where you have to buckle down. All of us here, I think, have built a business at some point. And I can remember where we used to do like these 90-day runs back in the day, where it's like 90 days of absolute focus and you're not, barely sleeping, barely doing anything else just to get this thing up and running or to hit a particular goal. But you can't get to 57 and tell me that you just only focused and hustled. And no, let's not pretend that that's where all his focus was. He was all over the place as well. He was in sports, he was womanizing, he was wasting time, he was doing all kinds of other things. I'm glad that at the age of 57, he finally stops and says, well, I could have done things differently. And hopefully some younger men will listen and think, well, maybe I should do things differently. But no, you don't get to 57 and say you only focused on grinding. No, he just, wasn't it last year where he lost a whole bunch of his money, not focusing?
$100 million with the little white girl.
Not focusing, right? Not focusing, not grinding, not building wealth, just doing something stupid. So it's not like that's all he did. So he at least is willing to admit that he did something foolish. And I wanted to say about that whole 50-50 thing also, because I heard us mention 50-50 and LaNee said it's 100-100. And I wholeheartedly believe that it should be 100-100. But I believe that women have been hustled for, I don't know, the last 50 years or something with this 50-50 nonsense, because it's never 50-50. Both people go to work, right? He doesn't get pregnant, she gets pregnant, but still 50-50, right?
Right.
She has to clean she has to do the child, she has to do so much more, and then they have the audacity to say 50-50. It's never 50-50. If a woman literally never contributed a single penny to the relationship, it would still not be 50-50.
Drop the mother mic. Let me tell you something. As you were talking, I just remember one of the world famous sayings that you said, Nomalanga, when the question was asked, if you had to bring in some money to, or if your husband needed you financially.
Now my husband a date.
And you said, yeah. What was the question? If they needed you to,
it was like if you were on a date and he forgot his wallet and he was looking at me as his date. I was like, well, yeah, he could do whatever he wants, but the solution is not me.
Yeah, you said he has many options, and I am not one of them.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna do it.
It's true.
He has many options, and I am not one of them.
Make a plan. Be a man and make a plan.
Being figured out, homie. But I just, it's really sad. I think the state of the Black family, and white supremacy has really wiped us out, and we've been an experiment for so long. And I know I continue to go back to this, but it is so true. And so our ideals are not, and our values are not where they need to be to create a healthy family. Our priorities are off. If we value material things rather than people, that's where our priorities are. And so it's really sad. And so that's going to be the story of a lot of people's lives. We model our lives after what we see on social media. And it's just, we've replaced really personal interaction with what we're looking at online. And it's not reality, because we're only seeing snapshots. And then we try to model our lives after those little snapshots. And so we're not creating meaningful relationships. That's everybody as a whole. That's everybody across the board. But anything that happens, especially in this country, when you have we always seem to exacerbate in our community. And I just want us I just want to shake our people, men and women, because it's not a battle of the sexes thing. We just need to be shaken and woken up and saying, listen, we are not each other's enemy. We need to value each other. We need to create together. We need to love each other. We got to build, Black people. We got to build. And that's just what I think we need to be. That's just my concern. But I think we got some stats. Let's take a look at some stats. Do we have the stats or no? If we don't got the stats, we can look at the other video.
Stats on the screen.
There we go. The average American works 1,700 to 1,900 hours per year, which leaves little time for personal life and relationships. Wait a minute. Hold on. Is that true? Are people really working that much? That you guys are saying in your lives? Are people really working so much that they don't have time for personal life and relationships? Are you guys seeing that?
People are working a lot, but they have time for other things. They're just not maybe prioritizing the same.
I always say I make time for the things that are important to me.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know that men be like telling me, Constance, you're always so busy. If I liked you, I wouldn't be. Research shows strong social connections can increase longevity by up to 50%. Okay, that's true. All right, what's our next one? Studies show high income earners often report higher stress levels when they are financially stable. Do you guys think that's true? If the higher money, the more you, I don't know, because I think people who work
high income earner though,
people who work physically, I think people who are like the bosses, they're not working as hard as the people who are doing the physical labor. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Well, when you're the boss, the bottom line, you're the bottom line. People can switch around and get a new job or whatever, but when you're the boss, you're responsible for the bottom line. So that is a very high level of stress.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be a visionary, but I think that the people who are actually doing the physical work, those are the people who are working the hardest. Work-life imbalance is one of the most.
You're directing folks.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are doing the work are the people that are working the hardest.
Yeah, you want to have people. You want people to be making money for you, and the people at the bottom, they're making money for themselves. They're limited on what they can make. Work-life imbalance is one of the most common reasons couples report relationship dissatisfaction. So people are working too much. Is that our last one? So what do you think about this work? Oh, burnout continues to rise, especially among entrepreneurs and high performers. We do see that. Have you got, let me ask you, is that the last one? So Dr. LaNee, as an entrepreneur, because I'll say for me, like when I was going through my divorce, I just was like, I had to reset. I couldn't perform in the way that I was performing. I couldn't do the things that I normally, you know, I'm a thug and I'm very non-emotional. However, you know, just going through everything I was going through, I couldn't be everything that I had been. And so I had to, burnout happened and I took a 2-year break and I was like chilling for 2 years and it was great.
That's a privilege though.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I mean, I'm blessed to be able to have, you know, made some great investments to where I was able to do that and still buy a property and take care of my kids and send them to college. So that was beautiful. I got to work. I still got to work now, but so I'm grateful to be able to have done that. But have you guys had any as entrepreneurs, any time where you've had burnout? Noma?
Absolutely. I think if you're doing it right, you do. I mean, if you're not working, if you're not out here working hard, I don't think you do. But I think if you're doing it right, you do. I know I burnt out during my PhD. I burnt out at different times raising my son. I think that when you are doing entrepreneurship right, you come to a point where you have those seasons of burnout. But I think that those are also reinvention seasons, because if you think about how you're showing up in the world today in your business after that 2 years, like you're out here killing it. So you took the 2 years off, you rested, you healed, you regrouped, and you came out swinging. So I think, you know, sometimes those seasons of burnouts are really, I'm not going to say blessings, but those opportunities for us to re-innovate ourselves and come out at the next level or the next season of who we are and what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, it's important. What about you, Noma? Ever had burnout?
Yeah, I definitely have had a series of burnouts at different points. I can remember one time, because I was so determined to never ever have to work again. I worked so hard, my body literally just gave out. I was getting up at 4 a.m. and going to bed at midnight for I think about 2 years straight. And I had small children and I was trying to homeschool. It was crazy. It was, yeah. But I'm still glad that I did it, because I laid the foundation for a lot of things that, you know, like how you say I can take 2 years off. That's a blessing. But I believe you worked your butt off to earn the privilege to take 2 years off. And most people who can do that is because when other people were enjoying their lives and watching TV and going for lunches and, you know, whatever else, no judgment, I remember not doing any of that and just working, my head down, working. I'm doing this. I'm never going to look for another job ever, ever, ever again. But once you've done that, if you do it well, and then again, you make the right investments and so forth, you don't always have to go back into that. I mean, for me, it was crazy. I can't speak for anybody else. You never have to go into that grind mode, but you do have seasons of where you can relax a little bit. You got to push some, you got to relax and so on. But you can definitely burn out. I've seen it happen. And it was very, very tense in our home.
I would imagine. Yeah, I was nobody works harder than Constance Carter. Working hard is ghetto. It's ghetto as fuck. I don't want to do that shit no more. Dominique, you being a real estate professional and a nurse, which is super intense, I know you get burned out.
I do. Like, sometimes it's so overwhelming because those are just small aspects of my life. I'm still a mother, you know.
How old are your kids?
My oldest is 20. So, you know, she's in her second year of college, and my youngest is 14. He's a football player. He's in his freshman year of high school. So you got to think about those pieces as well. You know, extracurricular activities, registration for school, parent meetings, on top of being a nurse, on top of building out a business, on top of being a type A personality and wanting to be successful and just trying to make this stuff work. I have burned out multiple times. But
That's your husband, honey.
Huh?
That's a whole nother job. I said, you forgot your husband. That's a whole other job.
Cooking dinner every night, like people, those small things that you don't even think about. But what I've learned to do is not be so hard on myself and appreciate the moments where I feel burnout, just saying, I don't have anything else in me and I'm not doing anything else. And I'm just going to lay in the bed, or I'm going to take this time off a week or two. And I'm just going to take the time off. I have learned to just sit in that and not beat myself up. Like, because I didn't wash the dishes last night, or because, you know, I didn't get something done. Because you do need those moments. You need those times. And when I take breaks, like Dr. LaNee say, I will come back and it's like, okay, now I got all these ideals, because the goal is to be, we don't want to be booked and busy. We want to be paid and productive. When you're productive, you're strategic, you have things planned out, you're scheduled, you know, you have things in order. Like I read a book, Atomic Habits. Like if we start putting things in place from this time to this time, this is what I'm doing. It really helps you be productive and not just booked and busy. I don't want to be booked and busy. I want to be paid and productive. Come
on, let's be paid and everybody need to be paid and productive, because being booked and busy is ghetto if you ain't got no ROI. Ghetto. There's another. You said what, LaNee?
I said, now that is ghetto, being booked and busy. And then let's add broke. A lot of times people is booked and busy and broke.
Booked, busy, and broke.
Shame the devil.
All right, let's take a look at this next video, because the folks are talking about if they would choose love over money. And so I want to ask the chat, what would you guys choose? Would you choose love or would you choose money? And in a society where money is necessary, would you rather be rich and alone, or poor with your soulmate? Rich, alone, poor with your soulmate.
Money. Why money? Because in my case, I'm attracted to men, and for me, I'd rather have money than men around me, because they're a waste of time. So definitely money. Money will bring me happiness. Men will only like bring me stress. So.
Any more? She says. So is that normal, y'all? Do you guys know a lot of people like that? Because I be thinking some people would just be putting on for the gram. Do you guys actually know people like that in real life?
I think they're out there, but immediately I'm thinking, what kind of men are you around? What kind of men are you choosing? What kind of men choosing you? Like, that's what I always, whenever I hear women talk about men, especially if it's like a pattern or a trend, I always, pardon me again for saying it this way. What did Cat Williams say? What's wrong with your pussy? He said, what kind of men attracted? And he said it. I was like, you know, but where are you at? What kind of men are you attracting? And or men and or women. Like, this is not getting not a gender thing, but a lot of times when I hear women talk about this, the only type of man, this the only type of man, where are you going? Where are you hanging out at? Let me tell you, there are places you can go to meet a certain type of a man. If you are hanging out at the Legion, you're gonna meet a Legion, a leech. Somebody's gonna leech on to you. If you're hanging out at nice hotel lobbies, having a glass of Chardonnay, having some dinner, a businessman is gonna walk up to you, sit down, hey sis, how you doing? Can I get that glass of wine for you? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Where are you going? Who are you hanging out with? Like, what kind of conversations are you opening yourself up to? That plays a role in the type of man that will be attracted to you and the type of man that will talk to you and your level of stress, but also the value you bring as a woman.
Yes, thank you.
So sometimes you got to go back and look at yourself and say, who am I and what do I offer and what do I bring? Because that balances things out too.
Nomalanga, you said thank you.
Yeah, because can we not pretend though that people will always know how to properly pick a good partner? If that was true, people wouldn't be getting into these horrible relationships. People literally don't know how to pick properly. They don't know. And their mother didn't know, and their grandmother didn't know.
Listen, that's why I said God got to pick for me. Because I don't know. I don't know how to pick.
Put light on them.
Huh? You can just learn. You can just learn how to pick properly, Constance. And I will say though, getting older and more mature, it usually goes in two direct opposites. You get to be like that woman who's like, oh, they're too much trouble and I don't care and blah, 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 blah. There's, you know, or you mature and you get to a point where you realize, okay, you know, when I was younger, I was not paying attention to certain things. And now that I'm older, I can pay attention to certain things. But I just don't like this assumption that people can pick well, because they can't. They're driven by love and they have sex and their hormones all over the place. And then they just get into that cycle.
Red flags be looking like Six Flags when you feeling the motherfucker.
Yeah, and people get caught in that cycle. You have sex with somebody, you develop feelings, and then it's good for a while, and then that fizzles out, and then you do it again and again and again and again. So we can't pretend that people literally stop and think and don't rush into the intimate part or think about these are the fundamentals. Or you'll hear somebody say, these are the things that I want, and then you see who they're with, and you're like, wait, what? You see, yeah. So that's and the reason why I can say that is because I've been through a lot of coaching in terms of how to pick a partner, and I've done a lot of coaching about picking a partner. So I just don't like the idea that it happens magically.
Hey, praise unto God said, at the hotel, you're meeting married businessmen. You are not lying. You're not lying. Let me not eat. You're not lying. There do be a lot of married men in them hometowns picking up the ladies. Oh yeah,
out of town for some fun.
Mm-hmm. So you do have to be aware of that. That's the true point. They do be out there, but you gotta have your feelings. Here's the thing: you can meet a married man at the grocery store.
True that.
So it's no different. You just gotta be, do your feelers and stuff like that. But that is true. I'm not gonna pretend like that's not true. That is true. But again, you can meet a married man at the gym. So
true that. What you think, Dominique?
Let me think. I think that we focus so much on the division and generalizing, right? All men are this, all women are this, instead of, like Nomalanga said, paying attention, asking the question. We're so lustful that we're lost in everything based on lust and not who the person is, what they're doing, what they have. What is their mother like? What is their father like? Having these conversations and getting to the root of things. But what's happening is we're creating this division that I don't even think is created by us to separate us and make marriage a bad thing and make relationships a bad thing. I'm just going to be by myself and I'm just going to be single. And it's not a bad thing to be in partnership, but we do have to pick better. We have to really think about things that we want. We need to think about the family that they come from. And like Ms. Producer say, we oftentimes pick our traumas, right? So when we're having these conversations, yes, it's easy to blame the other person, but we also have to be accountable for our actions. So if you choose a certain type of person, knowing everything that you know, because the red flags come out, we just ignore them. You can't blame somebody else or blame the whole sex, all the men or all the women based on a decision that you've made to ignore different things, not addressing your own issues and your own traumas. And until we get to that point where we're accountable and we're having real conversations and we're not getting caught up in lust, I think that's when things can change.
Yeah, man. That's why Jesus is going to have to come down from the cross and pick mine for me, because I don't know. I don't think I can trust myself. Red flags are real. Deborah will win. They are real. Let's go to I'm gonna stop saying that. I gotta speak it into existence. I'm gonna pick the right one. I'm gonna pick the right one. Yes. There's some great guys out there and they ready. Let's go to the last video.
I see reasons why man should choose money over finding love. Let me explain. Money is a tool that can pave the way for doors to open, right? To make you successful, to make you financially free, to really enjoy life. Finding love can put you in the dumpster. People get replaced every day. Nothing lasts. Honestly, a woman will choose somebody over you that's not better looking than you, doesn't have more income, doesn't have a stable life together. They'll choose that person over you in a heartbeat. That's why I don't think men should be chasing love. I don't think men should be chasing anything. All a man should do right now is attract riches, growth, harmony, peace, love. You shouldn't be chasing anything at this point, because chasing, it's running away from you. You know that. the person you're with right now, or the person you're trying to get with, that person could be gone the next day. You know your money can't, though. Your money's going to stay with you if you use it right. Your money will always stay with you.
I'm not listening to nobody under,
this little
right,
baby.
I'm not listening to nobody under 40 to tell me about life. Boy, bye. Anyway,
Let
Dominique,
me get that nip behind your ear, baby. Let me get
right.
that
If you don't go somewhere, little boy.
He just proved my point. He already talks about it being financially stable, blah, blah, blah. Then go pick a chicken head that's going to run off or something. He's the right person. And then he's stupid enough to think money doesn't leave. Oh my God. It absolutely will, especially if you say stupid stuff like that.
Right. If you think stupid thoughts, you say stupid things. Yeah, all of those things, right?
Yeah.
My God.
You don't attract money, you work for it and you work to keep it. All that garbage about attracting it. Nah, you don't attract money. You gotta work for it.
Right.
You gotta work for money and you gotta work to keep it.
Lord have mercy. That was dumb. Anyway, anybody else think it's not dumb? Anybody got anything to contribute to that dumbass shit? I got nothing.
But next.
We're looking at older people and trying to figure it out. And we failing badly. If that's what they thinking.
Right. Who raised you, young buck? Who raised your ass? Single parent.
Because he's still young, so maybe he'll mature.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we about to do our final thoughts, but before we do that, y'all, this is Black History Month, and we always like to end with a Black fact. And so I'm going to tell you about a place called Negro Fort. I was going to call it Fort Negro. Have you guys heard of the Negro Fort? Has anybody heard of the Negro Fort?
No.
Okay. Well, good. I just wanted to share something that you may not have known. So it before there was a conversation about Black Wall Street, before Rosewood, before Tulsa, there was the Negro Fort. So after the War of 1812, formerly enslaved Africans and Black Seminoles took over an abandoned British fort of the Appalachian River, and what they built was extremely powerful. This wasn't just a hiding place. This was a free Black stronghold. So over 300 Black men, women, and children lived there. They were armed, organized, and most importantly, they were free. The fort became a symbol of Black independence in the South, attracting more escaped slaves who were ready to live life on their own terms. Now, here's where it gets real. Slave owners and U.S. officials saw this as a threat, not just physically, but physiologically, because if enslaved people saw Black folks living free, armed and self-sufficient, it would inspire rebellion. So in 1816, the U.S. military attacked. They fired cannonballs into the fort's ammunition supply, causing a massive explosion that killed over 250 people instantly. It remains one of the deadly, I've never even heard of this, y'all. It remains one of the deadliest single attacks on Black people in the U.S. history, yet most of us were never taught about this. So this wasn't just about war. This was destroying a Black autonomy, Black safety, Black economic independence before it could spread. And if you connect the dots from Negro Fort to Tulsa to redlining to modern banking disparities, they talk my language. You see a pattern. Every time we built something strong, something independent, something that could shift the power dynamic, it has been challenged or dismantled.
Destroyed.
Yeah. Wow. And that was in 1812. And that reminds me, you know, I did a video talking about Abraham Lincoln did not free the slaves. He had to. There are a lot of hundreds of thousands of them ran away, and they ran to the enemy lines, and they ran to the north. They ran up north, and then he had to free the slaves. There's too many of them. They couldn't send them back. So anyway, but that was Negro Fort. That was our Black history fact. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. We're going to do our final thoughts, and we're going to start with you, Miss Dominique. What do you think about relationships and finding love, and where does that put us as a community?
So I love relationships. I love the institute of marriage, and I think that it gives us an advantage. But we have to have conversations about what that looks like, and these expectations that are placed on us based on society and what needs to happen, and all these negative things that you hear. We have to go back to the basics. have our village and our grandmothers and, you know, everybody involved in our family. And I think that that's what really changes things, making sure that we're taking care of our family. We're creating generational wealth when we come together, not even just as partnerships as husband and wife, but coming together as a community, as villages, you know, making sure that we're taking care of our children, we're taking care of our elderly. And until we get to that point, it's going to be difficult for us because we are trying to basically operate independently and doing everything by ourselves, where it's almost impossible to get to where you want to go just doing it by yourself. So I think that relationships are awesome. I love the Institute of Marriage, and I think that once we get back to that, then we can really help our community be better, be stronger, be wiser. So again, I'm Dominique Morgan. I'm the managing partner of the Whitmore Group, and we exist to educate, empower, and equip individuals and businesses to build wealth through real estate. We can help you purchase anywhere in the United States. And if you're looking to find me, you can find me at the Whitmore Group on all social media platforms. And also you can go to our website at thewhitmoregroup.com.
I love that. And I love what you said. So I'm going to pose that question to you, Nomalanga and Dr. LaNee. What can we do as Black people to bring our Black families back focused so that we can build together? What's the solution, Nomalanga? Marriage, motherhood, and money.
I'm not sure I have the solution. I do believe my brand is the solution, because I think that we have to restore stable families, which restore stable communities and the village, like Dominique said. I do also think that it's not always it's easy said, but not easy to do. So I do really encourage mentorship. I encourage coaching. I encourage getting around circles of positive, family-oriented, wealth-building minded people. You know, we're tooting our own horn, but shows like this and a lot of the platforms that you have, progressive Black people who really want to restore the Black community, want to restore Black families, want to restore Black wealth. It's very important to be around those people, and it's important to be mentored, coached, and in circles with those people. I think that's a good starting point. If you'd like to take advantage of my product of the month, I just put the link there. It's themochamoguls.com. And then on every show, I like to have an ask, passforourgirls.com. That is our charity that we have in Botswana. We support period poverty. If you feel inclined, please do support us. Passforourgirls.com. Any amount counts. And where you can find me, I always say I'm a Facebooker, and I really am on Facebook a lot. I am also on Instagram as Ms. Nomalanga, and I also have a developing TikTok now. I'm on TikTok a little more now. Also as Nomalanga. So you can.
What is the Mocha Moguls? Because you can't go just throw it out there and just keep going. Like what's the product?
Oh, that's why I just put my product of the month.
Yeah, we don't know what it is though. What is it?
Okay, the ebook is 7 life-changing habits. I actually tell a little bit about my story and then how at one point my life fell apart and how I put it back together. So that's the product of the month. It's at themochamoguls.com. Yeah.
You can't run past that, baby. We want to know what the product of the month is. So go to themochamoguls.com. All right. Thank you, Noam. And last but not least, Dr. LaNee.
Geez, so I'm going to be real simple. I believe that the way that we move forward is just literally in unity. It's in community. It's together. It's understanding the importance of two, right? Two is better than one. Two is stronger than one. And I think that that's literally it. I know we were talking about love and money. And so these are the stats I wanted to share. Over 80 to 90% of American millionaires are married, with roughly 65% remaining with their first spouse. Damn. So marriage rate over 80 to 90% of millionaires are married. First marriages, about 65% of millionaires are still with their first spouse. The average millionaire has been married for over 30 years, often viewing a supportive long-term partner as a key factor in building wealth. And so I think we just have to understand that, like, when you are in partnership, you are in partnership. You can build, you can build better, you can live better. Life becomes better, right? You're going to have ups and downs, but I think we just have to learn how to stay in there. I think we get into relationships and marriage and think that it's going to be better on the other side or greener on the other side. And all it is green lights. It's a green light shining on that grass. It's fake. It might even be fake green grass. We don't even know. Turf. Yeah, you literally got to water your grass and stay in there. That's how we see these 20, 30, 40, 50-year relationships. And so I think that that's our success is, I mean, if somebody's hurting you, treating you bad, no, but if you can work through it, if you can communicate, if you can talk, if you can fight for it, I think that that's how we get to the other side and we build more Black excellence and more Black love. I'm Dr. LaNee Javet. You can find me at The Brilliant Strategist. You can find all of my links. That is my links link. So thebrilliantstrategist.com if you want to work with me, do a strategy session, join my email list. Anything that I do is at thebrilliantstrategist.com.
Wow. Well, you said it, all of you guys said it, but marriage matters. It really does. It matters in how we build our families. It matters in how we build our communities. And I just pray that like we can lean on love. And I'm not talking about the type of in love love. I'm talking about the love that is an action. That's a verb. The things that we need to build together. We can really look and lean on that. That's what we need more than anything is we need to have the kind of actionable love in our communities. But it's shown more when you have a solid family. I get it. Millionaires are married. Shit, I lost $1 million when I got divorced, and divorce could wipe you the hell out too at the same damn time. So marriage is definitely important when it comes to building wealth, but having a safe and healthy marriage is also extremely important as well. But we just have to be intentional. We just got to be intentional. And I think that, there is a lot of Black love out there. There's a lot of negativity only because there's a magnifying glass on the negativity. The negativity has the biggest microphone, and that's not necessarily the case. We do have Black love. We just need to start propping it up more. We need to start recognizing it more, and we got to start living in it more, period. Where can you find me? Everywhere. I am Constance Carter. Y'all, I'm about to be 50. I'm about to be 50 next week. So I'm really excited about turning 50, even though Nomalanga told me I was washed up in the beginning of the show.
I did not say that.
She said a 50-year-old woman basically ain't got no options. Rewinded. She said that.
I just got married.
However, but for my 50th birthday, one of the things that I'm doing is I'm offering, I exist to help Black people build wealth, build, grow past their wealth. So all of my premier offerings, 50% off for my 50th birthday. So if you want to join the Net 7 Collective, where I help Black women from all over the world, I coach them every week, coaching them to their 7 figures, it's 50% off. If you want to have a one-on-one wealth strategy session with me, that's 50% off. And my time is my money. If you want to get my Living Trust book right here, the ebook at least, not the, it's 50% off. So a lot of my stuff is 50% off. Go to constancecarter.com. Put in the code CC birthday, and you get all of my premier offerings for 50% off for my 50th birthday. So if you've ever wanted to work with me, now is the perfect time. I have financing that's available as well. So we're going to head on out of here, but I do want to say as we are heading out that my notes went away. But this has been just an awesome conversation, and the conversation is bigger than Shannon Sharpe. It's about how many people are working hard. They're building careers, they're chasing goals and trying to secure that bag, but they're not realizing that their life is passing them by at the same time. It goes like this. Money is important, absolutely, but security matters. Relationships are way more important. They matter too. Families matter, friendships matter, love matters, because at the end of the day, success feels very different when you got somebody to share it with. So we appreciate you coming on here with us. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same